Well, hello there, and welcome back to the second match of the second day of the Season 4 of the AMD OLS. And I think after, well, maybe a warm-up match for some, now we're gonna have a true banger, almost a classic at this point. It is going to be the decorated team of W against, well, the most successful team in recent history internationally, against HIT.
Yeah, I was going to say, two very decorated teams. It should be an absolute banger of a match as well to see how this plays out. This W team taking on HIT and run a potential match for the WCI as well at some point. Gihan, maybe even a grand finals kind of matchup. That would be a possibility.
Definitely could be, because the two stars there on the W jersey, they are from the two wins that they have in the past two OLSs. Talking about back-to-back wins, though, HIT in their own right with the back-to-back WCI champions crown under their belt. Now with more reinforcements as well. Barbarian, we already saw him play. Deja currently still benching a little bit, and if there is one thing to improve from Tuesday for HIT, it's maybe Monster's performance. The team captain not really having the best of days, but then again, if your team wins 3-0, what does that matter?
Yeah, I don't think it matters that much. iTalks with a squeezy picture, I think. That's an interesting one. Highlights so far for W. I mean, they also had a pretty straightforward win, you know, so there was not everybody did the kind of their thing, right? We will see these DPGs after a few playdays. We'll really see who's doing what for their team. It's kind of hard to tell, and this matchup will be a good one to see who performs as well. 75% for W, quite a lot. I mean, I don't think you can count out hit and run at any given point.
No. Although it is still early in the tournament, and even though HIT had a 3-0 success, I think, on Tuesday.
For sure, I remember that game very well. Predictions, though, across the board, a little bit different here. Kihan going with a 3-2 for W, Baby going with a 3-1 for W, and Phil and myself are going for a 2-3 victory for a hit and run. I think he's anchored next to Max Verstappen, actually, so interesting to keep that into mind. But interesting as well is the lineup from W, actually. E100 IS7 double mouse, a 140, a 43, and an E4 mouse, kind of falling out of fashion.
Yeah, and especially, if not for that 140, that could be a lineup from last season, to be honest. Hit and run, though, adapting a little bit more to the meta with the Type 5 emerging. Double IS7, 1T57, double Type 5, 140, and E4. I think W are actually maybe going to struggle a little bit against that double Type 5, because three of their tanks don't really have the penetration to go through the Type 5's armor. Also, Deja now finally playing a former pro player in the WGL, making his reappearance. Can
he bring glory to his name? Let's find out together. He's playing a Type 5 though, not even the 140. Franek filling that role. But both these teams playing without a light tank. It's an interesting approach. Both of them kind of just feeling it out too, not too aggressive at all.
DJ, though, taking a bit of punishment here very early on. Retaliation coming through on towards Frugo, who immediately loses his commander. Not sure if he has a rep kit, as he is not currently reviving him. But yeah, as of right now, trades a little bit back and forth. We're waiting for the mouses of W to march into position a little bit. Franek has taken the strike in the meantime, though, so that is a little bit of neutral objective advantage. But on that F0 position, if we take a look at the minimap, that's a heavy tank driving there, actually, and it is unspotted.
That is indeed unspotted, but at the same time, though, Tisek coming up on the head here. Frugo, does he have a medkit? Because
I just checked, he does not. He is running fuel.
So he's not going to get that back. That's slightly annoying. But now W starting to push up with those mouses. iTalks, IOS pushing up as well. But look how entrenched and how far back hit and run is Deca now. Jumping off that cliff because him and Tisek are in the open for that zero-line tank, which is playing there, which is Nepal. So they're going to have to pull back. W clawing themselves back into this match with the HP as well. But you can see the mouse now has a hard engagement ahead of him. It's a E4 and a 57. Two tanks that really kind of like playing against this mouse, as they're doing a good number on him as well. iTalks dropped rather low towards 1000 HP, and the rest of W in quick succession, because look at the zero line. That's a 140 facing off against an IS-7. If Monster can face Hawk, he can make this work. But DJ in return in a lot of trouble himself. Franek will try to come and help him, which means Glove doesn't go for it. But then T-Sec, Pantherfury and Decha in a sandwich of their own here between the guns from W.
Yeah, let's see. First of all, Itox is going to find Barbarian, but all of a sudden he realizes that T-57 is going to be reloaded. Franek putting some damage in as well. Ios very, very low. Pantherfury might be able to pick him up with a single shot of his own. Itox the first one to fall. Klurf now finding himself in a pickle as well, and Hit and Run managed to just keep more guns in the game right now. DJ still alive. Monster not sure if he's winning his one-on-one here, but Frugo finds himself in between 3 enemy tanks. Is he going to be able to go through the armor of the Type 5 Heavy? The IS-7 does have more APCR pen. He finds the site, but it is a trade at the end of the day. Hit and Run still with 5 tanks, while W have 3 remaining.
And Nepal 1 on the 0 line, but Barbarian and Pantherfury looking for the knockout blow with Decha flanking from behind. Pantherfury picks up the mouse. Barbarian now going to move on to his former teammate Squeezy and put him in the grave as well, putting 3 into that E4 and putting him out of the game. And yeah, Hit and Run ends up having a pretty good lineup to deal with this aggression, though, if you look at it. I mean, they have double type of their own, they have that E4, they have a really good combat lineup, and W trying to push forward did a good job as well, because Hit and Run doesn't have too much HP left, but still, the lineup from Hit and Run, it was hard to go through.
Yeah, this match, or this round, somehow feeling like a wrestling match in between both of those teams, with Hit and Run just, you know, having the better end of it. More meat, more steel, more HP in the fight. The power of the Type 5 able to carry through against those kind of flimsy, it's weird to say it, but kind of flimsy mouses. Those T-57s as well, the perfect tool for Hit and Run to deal with them, just, you know, able to clip out, some of them not even taking a shot of damage in return. So yeah, well played to Hit and Run.
Yeah, I would rather be the Type 5 there as well, to be honest, than the mouse, simply because of the extra alpha. But they obviously picked the mouses for a reason. In this game, it doesn't end up working out for them. We'll see how much the types really did as well. But there are some good individual plays there. I mean, Monster keeping the 140 busy is already one thing, even though it resulted into not the greatest amount of damage. Pantherfury had a great game. T-Sec, not that much. DJ neither in those low times. But Decha, you know, 3.3. And Barbarian as well at some point tackling that mouse together with Pantherfury. Then later on he tackled the mouse once more. The strike came in. He basically killed Itox and Squeezy already at that point. Nepal doing a good job here as well, but you could see the mouses do struggle in this. I mean, Itox is on the bottom, iOS does 2.7.
It's kind of okay-ish against mouse turret front, but against Type 5, yeah. Alright, W though are going to switch it up, seeing that their first attempt didn't work, so they are going to completely change what they are doing. A 277 triple E50M, a 140 for that additional boost for everyone, an E4 and an EBR. So it's going to be light tank against no light tank.
A Hit and Run, double E50M, 140, double type, double IS-7. They now will have to deal with the EBR though. An EBR that should be able to get quite a lot of information in the beginning. More likely than not, we'll see him go towards 1-2 line with that EBR instead of the right side, just because he can generate a lot of info there. He will find, let's say, 4 tanks.
Let's see the pathing that iOS is going to go for. Franek with the 140, maybe even able to spot the EBR out, and that's exactly what's going to happen. He doesn't take any damage for it as of yet, goes unspotted for the time being. Finally, Franek peeking again, but he needs to be careful. He doesn't know how much firepower is behind that EBR. Takes 1 on the way out, but to be honest, I think that is a lot of information here for the side of W, and now the E50Ms are going to start opening up on towards the Type 5s that are starting to march into the cap. That is a lot of punishment coming out for now. Of course, Hit and Run will later have to deal W will later have to deal with that cap pressure first of all, but that is a good amount of punishment. Barbarian even getting caught a little bit in the IS-7. I think he's trying to spot out the mediums, but gets set on fire. A very unlikely thing to happen in Onslaught, but regardless, it works as iOS goes down to 88 HP. Only 1 more shot required, and now the brawl is in full effect. everywhere.
Yeah, Barbarian versus Frugo is going to be a win for Frugo, who's Amarak though. Deca now trying to back off with a D50M as W is re-pushing Panther Fury, holding behind the rock, but Barbarian, the first one down, but the HP though, because of that EBR being dead so early, hit and run actually has more of it, but they still have a Type 5. Frugo now kind of driving out in the open as well, gets picked up by T-Sec, out in the open, tries to survive, will not make it, and Monster and Panther Fury now playing behind this rocks here, trying to stay alive as well. There is a lot of good damage coming out. The strike will hit Panther Fury as well, drop into a one-shot, but Monster will delete Klurv in return, and W looking to win 1-2 line, but Deca did back off very, very smartly to a safer position, is now getting help from Franek as well. That full HP 140 coming in with the Inspire as well, and DJ and T-Sec in those Type 5s in the meantime, finding success as well in the city, and it's worrying that W, even with this initial bleed, which was very, very, very well done, take everything back to the face. And now Mentos and Nepal trying to win 1-2 line. T-Sec will lose against Itox, who's coming around with that E4, but he fluffs it, he misses it. DJ in return missing as well, but that's surely going to be Itox out, and now Franek picking up Nepal. Yes, Monster, the team captain, will go down, but it's just Mentos and Squeezy left standing, and as quickly as we began Ghost Town, as quickly we will end it with a hit and run 2-0 scoreline.
Absolutely, and you said it, kind of concerning here the way that all of this unfolded. The push on the 1-2 line also kind of disjointed against what Hit and Run were doing. I think Deca there with a very, very smart play, even staying alive here on 3 HP. But the thing is, yes, the bleed that was done on the Type 5s at the start of it was very, very good. But then come to think about it, does it really matter that much? Because, yes, you deal a lot of damage on towards those heavy tanks, but then you try to push 1-2, and of course all those E50Ms and mediums there that Hit and Run have, those did not bleed. So you're still pushing in towards full HP tanks.
And the biggest problem there is actually that they were forced to repush almost, and that comes down to the EBR making a mistake. He was taking the artillery strike on that 2 line, and he got spotted out and deleted. He does 0 as well. Right, which is worse than Barbarian doing, I think, 2 shots of damage. Because Barbarian was going to lose against Frugo 10 out of 10 times, and there's no way he wins that. So they would always be up a gun. Now the EBR got pushed, they pushed back in immediately to try and do something off of the EBR dying. But because of that, they were playing 6v6, and Hit and Run was able to hold on very, very well. Franek doing a good job there as well in the 140, and then, you know, Frugo getting kind of crossfired as well. It's really off the back of the CBR kind of overstaying and dying as a result, because, you know, otherwise they kill the guy for free. Sure, they have to deal with the cap, but it was only 1 Type 5 capping, so it's not like they really needed the strike that desperately, you know. You can't say that every match though, but, you know, you have 1 or 2 of those excuses that you can use. But it's not over just yet. You know, Himmels is still up and coming. And it just proves that any team can beat any team as well at the end of the day.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's interesting from both sides. That's E4, 140 CS, E50M and the Type for the side of W. Hit and Run a different approach, key hands, with that E100, Type 5, triple T57, a BZ, and a CS63.
Yeah, let's see. I think Hit and Run once again banking on this absolute astonishing power that the T57 brings to the table. Especially when you pop the ability, you unload so quickly, and then even then you're a threat because you reload the clip entirely so quickly as well. W will really have to take care not to lose any of those E50Ms early on, so they, throughout the reload of the clips of the T57s, that they will be able to DPM down those autoloaders. IOS there spotting out T-Sec, getting spotted out himself, trying to make his way towards the artillery strike, but with that T57 hit squad not spotted, W actually might be in some trouble here. Barbarian looking for an angle. They're starting to drive in towards the 8 line. Itox is going to spot this out here, puts a good shot and sees the second T57, but IOS really taking a beating here. Itox not sure if he can actually stay, but I think Barbarian is just going to go for the play on towards the Hurricane 1, make that 2, 3, and he doesn't go for the 4th because he's actually taking a huge amount of punishment. Good reaction by W. They're still looking for that pickup on towards IOS as the E50Ms come back in. Nepal with the ram kill, but IOS falls in turn.
Yeah, Barbarian there tries to make the play, but a little bit over-eager. Now, they have taken a lot as well in that T57. That's the DPM from this lineup, already -1, but now they're charging in with the Type 5 and the E100 leading the charge. Monster from above wants to come in as well, peeking over the top. Frugo is the target of choice, and look at Hit and run with just that sheer amount of HP because of those triple heavy tanks with the Type 5 rolling thunder moving through this Kaido cannot be stopped. His T-Sec does miss the shot, but it's still too much HP currently for W to really put down their fist and stop the onslaught. They are able to start picking off those lowly armored tanks like the 57s, like the CS63 of Monster, who's struggling as well, but it's still 4,000 lead for Hit and Run. But for Hit and Run, it's about getting some tanks out of the game right now, because if they're just left with these heavies, it's not going to be that great either. And DJ does just that. Picks up Nepal. Mental's falling to Franek as well, who found himself a nice little window position to clip out on towards these W tanks. And this is not what the two-time OLS champion was expecting, but it's what they're going to get as Hit and Run show up today and show them that they're here to play.
Absolutely. Hit and Run here with this brutal pushing setup. Do not care what W had prepared. Instead, they are just going to muscle through with what felt like raw power through that 8 line with the Type 5 of T-Sec leading the charge. I do want to highlight there were some very, very cool micro plays as well on the W side. I think Mentos was shielding Frugo once against T-Sec. So he didn't get the shot or the kill this early, but overall Hit just with all the answers here towards the plays that W were trying to make. I'm not even sure that that shot initially on towards iOS, was it HE like 1100?
It
that
was
could be
HE
from an
was,
E4.
It was the Type 5 that was driving the whole game, just like head first. I think it was T-Sec. And you see there the Type 5 against those E50Ms. He's just driving, bro. He's just pressing W. They have an E100, they have a Type. He pens the CS63 for 1.1. And neither Decha or Barbarian having a good game. At least Barbarian made his clip, but his play was over eager as well. Let's be real. But at least he made his 4 shots.
Yeah, I think in situations like this where it's just completely everything that you trained goes off the rails and the call is just, you know, everyone push, mistakes are naturally going to happen, but overall the lineup that Hit had here was just designed better to deal with what W was bringing. I mean, you have the front line, basically the actual tanks, quote unquote, with the Type 5 with the E100 that are just able to push through and then are a menace because they have all of their DPM as well. And then you have the T57s that are always going to trade well against stuff like E50Ms. Now, I'm not sure what exactly the BZ was adding to the lineup, maybe to take some initial positions, but overall, Hit and Run, I think, winning today against W with superior tank selection.
Yeah, they had really good fighting setups from Hit and Run's side, and they ended up winning the fight because of it every time as well. Yeah, these E50Ms are great things, don't get me wrong, but when you're playing one down roughly to start with, and Barbarian already did his damage, then it's going to be tough, especially when you have to chew through these 4,000 HP Type 5, but an even 100 behind it as well. It's hard to get those lowly armored tanks out. They did manage to do it on Decha, almost on Monster, but it's really tough in those scenarios to ignore the Type 5 and shoot everything else, because he's also just having a great time in the meantime. That, you know, that gun of the Type 5 is not to be underestimated whatsoever. And if you drive past him at an E50M, he's just going to shoot you in the side with HE for 1,100, or from behind for 1,100, no matter what you do. But, you know, it just proves anything can happen. W had a great showing in their first match. Here, I wouldn't say that they played bad. It's just that Hit and Run played very well and was able to deal with everything W threw their way and knocking it out 3-0. I mean, it's an interesting start to the season, Kian.
Absolutely, especially since Hit normally early on in the season seemed to be kind of struggling. Now with the perfect start for them. But yeah, I think that for now is quite enough for from the two of us. So we'll be back after some replays with the third match. Hopefully that one's not going to be a 3-0.